Hey everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching today. So I've got a really fun Halloween project for you. I'm going to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this one because there is a spider inside, and I know some people just can't even bear to look at them, and I don't think it's very fair to make you jump on a papercraft tutorial. But this is one for the kids, or even if you've just got some jokers in the family, I think they might find this quite amusing. So you just pull the little drawer here and out pops a spider. You can have anything on the end of this. I was going to put the word boo on there as well, but as you open it, you've then got room to fill with treats or a little gift. It's entirely up to you. It's really, really easy to make. I actually saw this idea on YouTube. I will link the channel. I can't remember the name of it. It was like not a 5-minute crafts one, but it's one of those. It's an origami spring, but I've tested a few, so I'm going to give you a few tips on how to get a good spring. And then you just push it all back down again, and then just slide that back inside, making sure I don't catch his legs. But it's a great little size. These are all going to go into a little gift bag, and yeah, I can't wait to give these to the recipients. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to make another one. I'm going to use green for this one. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start off with the drawer. So you want a piece of 8 1/4 by 9 1/2, and along the 9 1/2 side, you're going to score it 2 1/4, 4 1/2, 6 3/4 and 9. Then rotate it so that 1/2 inch tab's at the bottom and score it 2 1/4. Okay, I've then got 3 pieces of 2 by 5 3/4 and then 3 pieces of 1 3/4 by 5 1/2. They're going to mat and layer on top of each other, and they're going to cover the 3 sides. I haven't covered the base. If you want to, then just cut an extra one. And I've used the spider's web. There's actually a spider's web in each set. There's the Haunting Times, there's one there, but I've used the bigger one from the Spooky Fun set. This is part of my new Halloween collection. I thought it looked nice to use to make your own background papers, and this was the bit I done at the end. Can you see in there? I added that when I'd done it all, and I thought that actually would look nice for the next one. So that's what I've done. And then I've got another piece to go inside, like that piece there, which is 2 by 5 3/4. You could do a mat and a layer with that one as well if you want, but I didn't feel I needed to put the silver inside. Then to make the spring, now this is where I've played around a few times. So I believe in the video that they use, well, they call it an Origami Surprise Box. So if it's origami paper, which they're using, because it's double-sided, I think it's white on one side, coloured on the other, it's very, very thin. So I used my envelope paper, and although it's a good spring, the reason I didn't stick with this one is because I found that when I stuck the, whatever it was on the end there, it would drag it back in the box, and then it would just be a bit like this. It just didn't have that real kind of pop. So try it. If that's all you've got, then give it a go. It's still got a lovely spring, and that's what they use in the video, but I think over time as well, it's not going to keep its spring because it is just a paper. Then I got this one here, which was a 180 GSM, and this worked okay, but I left that overnight. When I came to it in the morning, it just went like this. You can see there's not the real height, so it lost its spring. So then I changed it to this here, which is a 220 GSM, and it's the Craft UK black 12 by 12 card. It doesn't have to be 12 by 12, you just want 6 strips of 1 by whatever length you've got. And I just find, you can see that it just holds itself so much better. So have a play around, see what you've got, but you want 6 strips of 1 by, like I said, as long as you can get it. So if it's 11 or A4 or 12, it's going to be fine. So first of all, we're going to make the case. So you want to just fold and burnish all of the score lines. And then I've got my tab on the right hand side. You want to cut down all of these score lines just to the first score line. Okay, and then really easy construction. You're just going to run your glue down your tab, like so. Fold one side over with the tab and then fold the other one over. And that way we know we've got a perfect square shape. I like to just move it and burnish it both ways, like so. And then I want the join at the bottom. So mine's in the bottom left-hand corner there. So I'm going to keep the top one till last and fold up the bottom one there. In fact, you might find that you want to just cut a little bit off the sides. I'm just going to cut it off the 3 sides. Like I said, that's the top, so I'm going to keep that one back so it's square, and then it will just cover all these, but just stops you getting anything kind of catching. So just cover that piece, fold that one down. Don't worry for the minute that they're not, you know, sticking together. And then fold that one over. And then lastly this one. And this is the solid square, so that will allow you to line it all up so you've got that perfect shape. And then you can just turn it over and grab your ruler and just go in there and just stick that all down. Okay, so now we've got a nice, where's my top? There we go. So we've got that nice smooth kind of corner there, and then all the joins and that join there on the bottom. Then I can decorate the sides, so I'm going to stick these together, put one on the top and then one on the side and one on the side there. The paper that I used on this one was from my Halloween paper pad, but this one's sold out, but I just took the bats there. I was going to use the spider web one there as well, but there's some really nice designs. So I'm going to stick all those down just on the 3 sides. Like I said, if you want to do the bottom and the back, then you can do. So they're all stuck down. So whilst that's drying, we can make the drawer. So I've cut this piece here to 6 3/4 by 10.5. So cut it to that size first, and then you want to trim another little bit off of it. And we want to trim, it's that 1/16 of an eighth kind of territory. But if you just use your trimmer, it's easy to do it. Start off first at 6 3/4 and then just bring it down. If you've got one that has all the little lines in between, just bring it down one of those lines and then just trim that off. It's easier just to do that, or for you to have a visual. I need to change my blade, but it's a very, very thin amount. It's just a little slither that you're cutting away. So I'm just going to trim that off there. But by showing you rather than telling you that measurement, I think it's a bit easier. So again, I'm going to line this back up, and I can see there it's bang on the 10.5. So I'm just going to bring this down to the marker just below it. And that one I think's cut a bit better. There we go. So again, it's that same, and that is 1/16 of an inch. If you like to work in centimeters, then, because you can flip in between, I mean, if I just measure that little bit there, I mean, you're going into the, it's like 2 millimeters that I've then taken off each side. Okay, then what you want to do is pull it out just a little bit. In fact, what you can do, I used to do this years ago. Gosh, this is bringing back memories of my earlier YouTube tutorials. Is just fold a bit of cardstock in half. I'll just pop that in there and then lay that down. Then when I take it away, you see there's a little gap, and then you want to score it 2 1/4. Okay, and you want to do that on all 4 sides. I'm just popping it, lay the card in there first, and then lay that next to it. Again, 2 1/4. And basically what we've now done is we've brought in all of the sides just slightly so that we can slide the drawer in and out. Okay, and you can do a quick test. Just fold down so you have it like this, and then that should fit in there and slide up and down. And if for some reason it's a little bit tight, I could probably still take a bit more off. You've got now the chance, because you can see it fits in the bottom there perfectly, and that side's fine. But this one, I could benefit from taking a little bit off the side again. So I'm just going to bring that one in. Just taking another bit off. I did think that the width of that, I've done it slightly bigger to start with, so that's probably what that was. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That slides in there really nicely now. So you just want to fold and burnish all of those score lines, and then you're going to cut down these 2 score lines at this end, and then just flip it, and again like so, and then fold in the middle one and just take a wedge off of these ones. And then again, fold in the middle one, just take a little wedge. Also, if you don't want to do all that kind of, you know, scoring and cutting like I just did, make the drawer first with the measurement that I gave you, and then just score it 2 1/4 on all 4 sides. And then with the measurements of the case, wrap that around and then just go over the score lines. So this is, I guess, a little bit of an easier way. So it's up to you. Then you're going to add your glue onto your tab and bring it under that middle one. And because you've kept that as a square, you just want to focus on the sides there, lining that up so you've got that square finish. And then again, so bring that under, and again focus on that outer side there so it's nice and square. Okay, and then just repeat again on this end. Okay, and then just check that that all slides in. I'm not going to push mine right in because I don't want to, you know, I want to be able to get it back out again before I put the handle on. But you can see there that all fits nicely. Now we can make the spring. So grab your 6 pieces. I want to stick that one down in there as well. So I'll stick that one down in a minute. And then this is going to go over the top. I've also made this. It helped with that first one by keeping it in that section and stopping it from falling back into this part. So it's optional, but I do think it will benefit you if you do it, but I'll talk you through that in a moment. So I'm just going to grab some glue and I'm just going to pop it on the bottom. Now I've made these springs before. I remember making them in primary school, so you know, lots of you will be familiar with this. And you're going to stick one over the top, okay, like so. The one that you just stuck over the top, you then want to fold under. Now you don't want to burnish the fold, you just want to wrap everything. And then the next one is going to go under, and then under again, and again, and again. You're just folding each one under, and by doing so, you're creating what is a really cool pattern, but also a very fun little spring. So each one is just going over the other. I find it easy to do it this way. Some people do it this way up, so they can see which one they're folding over. And don't worry if it starts twisting, because it doesn't affect it. If anything, it can look quite nice if it starts twisting around. And then when you get to the end here, what I'm going to do is just stick, I'm going to add it underneath this one. You just want to continue the next one. So I'm just going to lay that down there, fold that one over. So that's now stuck. Again, try not to add pressure on the folded, you know, the bits where you've wrapped it around, just on the top there. You can trim it off if you want, and then, but you're not going to see it, so there's no point making it harder for yourself. So then I'm just going to continue where I was. So that one went over there, and now that one. I'm not going to fold that double layer. I could have trimmed that down, but I'm just going to fold it there. It makes the spring bit a little bit bigger that side, but like I said, it really doesn't matter. You might find that falls enough as well. Depends on the depth of the drawer. You might be adapting this. You might be popping just the spring part in something else that you've already made. There's no right or wrong way of where you stick these. And you can see some of my strips are a little bit thicker than the other. Again, doesn't matter. And if you get the odd like double layer that you folded over, it's just going to help that spring even more, because it's going to be even thicker. So I actually think the thicker the card, the better the spring, and the longer it will last as well. If it's just in the drawer for a while, maybe you've made it a few weeks in advance. Now when you get to the end, I'm just going to add some glue and stick that one over there. That's all you need to do, and then just trim off the excess. So if you just turn it over like so. Okay, so you can see how mine looks. It started to twist a little bit, but I don't want to squash that down really flat. And now you can see it just has a really nice spring. Okay, so before I stick that one in, I mean, you could have it further down the box as well. You could have it maybe like there, and then, so these two pieces here are, I just want to check that they're going to fit because you want it to be snug in there. Yeah, they're going to be fine. It pushes it out a little bit, but I think it just helps with the drawer. So these are 2 3/4 by, along the 2 1/4 you're going to score at 1/4 of an inch, and then 2 1/2. Okay, so you've got 2 pieces, and then I'm going to stick these back to back, so you've just got the tabs on each end, like so. Sorry, I just had to pause my video. So I've just added glue on the ends there, and stuck it all together, and then I'm just going to stick it inside the drawer. So it's about 2 inches down, 2 1/4, the same kind of width as the drawer. Like so. You just want there to be enough room for that to stay in there and whatever it is you've got on top. So for me, it's the spider. Next, I'm going to add some glue to the bottom, and then just place that down. And then when you push it down, that's going to help. Just apply a bit of pressure. I'm just going to close that up for a minute, and that will just keep the pressure there. Okay, then to decorate the front and to add the little handle, it's all optional. You don't have to do it like this at all. You might have just a little bit of cardstock kind of folded out saying pull. But I've got this piece which is 2 by 2, and then this piece which is 1 3/4 squared, and I've just used my Scoreboard there and just created a few lines. So I'm going to stick that one onto this first of all, and then I'm just going to draw 2 dots where I want my holes to be punched. I'm just using my punch here. You can use any punch, it doesn't have to be the one that I have, but this is just handy because it does the punching and also it sets the eyelets. So just punch those, and then I've got my eyelets to fit the same size hole, so I'm just going to pop those in there, and then going to set those. There are many tutorials on YouTube showing you how to use this. It's a Crop-A-Dile Bite, the Big Bite this one is. Okay, so I've got those, and then my ribbon. I won't need all of this, but what I did is just stuck it. I think that's enough. Pull that one through actually. I can use that on something else. I haven't got much of this left, and it's really nice. So I'm just cutting it right down to the last little bit, and I'm just going to add some glue in the middle and just stick those on top of each other. Hold that there for a minute so it grabs. So I've got my handle, and then I've got the black foam pads here. And I'm just going to cut 4 strips and then stick those around the edge, and that will then match the bulk of the ribbon there, like so. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit more glue on the top there, because that will then just stick onto this part, like so. Whilst that's drying, I'm just going to decorate the top. So I've just cut some bats and my sentiment, which is from my Halloween sentiment set. So it's the Delivering Bugs and Hisses, or Bugs and Kisses as I also call it, but I'm going to have pretty much the same arrangement. So that one there, and then I like to put a little bit of shape in the bats. So do that one. I think the bats really pop on this one actually, because on the other one they kind of not get lost, but they blend in with the other bats on the paper. So I'm going to stick all that down. Okay, and then I'm going to add the glue just to the back of the spider or bug, whatever it is that you have popping out. Just pop him on the top there, and then push him down, hide him inside like so. Okay, and then once everything's dry, just pull your drawer and you'll see there you get that really cool spring and pop up with anything you want on the end of it. I'll just show you this one again. I think I used the same amount on each one. I'm pretty sure, yeah, because they got the same height, yeah. So, but that one just even sprung even more. So a little bit of practice with the springs. I'd definitely do them beforehand and see which ones you prefer with what weight. Everybody's going to have something different on the ends as well, so they might be heavier. But yeah, it's really fun. Thoroughly enjoyed these. I can't wait to give these out. So I hope you've enjoyed this second Halloween video from me today. As always, anybody new, I've got lots of playlists. I've got 5 years worth of Halloween projects, so you can go and check out the playlists and you'll see all the others there. I'll link up some other fun ones now, and if you haven't subscribed, you've enjoyed today, please consider subscribing, and if you hit the notification bell, then you won't miss any future tutorials, and all the product for everything that I've used will be shared in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.